What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to some more Littleroot laddering. So we're playing potentially the last Series 8 team we're going to be playing on the channel. I think next week we're going to try to get into Series 9 if we actually can. So I figured what better way for me to end Series 8 than to play it basically how I started it with a sweet Groudon team. So as always, we have Groudon paired with Venusaur. Backing that up, we have Regieleki and Tornadus as extra forms of speed control. P2 also kind of fits in that category, having access to Trick Room, so it makes it where Groudon is potentially like the slowest thing on the field, and therefore the first thing to move under Trick Room, and therefore we can get like a Swords Dance up and start sweeping that way. And then rounding out this team, like we talked about on the podcast yesterday, which you haven't checked out, make sure you go and do that. We have this sweet Choice Band Darmanitan set, and this was originally Choice Scarf, and Papa and I were talking about it, and I think that the power difference that you get for having access to Choice Band is better than the speed boost that you get for having Choice Scarf, especially when you're pairing it next to Eleki or Tornadus and have access to those speed control methods there. So I'm interested in seeing if that acquisition is appropriate, or if I just completely mess this team up by switching to Choice Band. So let's just round out today, and basically all of Series 8 for me, playing some sweet Mons that I'm excited to get into and play with, just to see what we can actually do with this Darmanitan, see if it's actually worth the slot here. So, I know in doing like some basic calcs with this team, if you're faster than things, which you can be thanks to Tornadus, Darmanitan OHKOs a lot of things in this format. And I don't think it's a lot of things that people are aware of, and therefore I'm hoping that they just ignore Darmanitan and instead target down the thing next to it, and therefore lets you pick up easy KOs with it. So we're going to test this theory out and see how that actually works out for us in practice today. I am basically going to be the guinea pig to see if this set works. I'm really hoping so, because on paper, this team looks really cool. And of course, it's just like standard Sun things with Groudon, Venusaur. Notably, this Venusaur does not have access to Sleep Powder, so you can't just like cheese wins occasionally. But instead, we have access to Life Orb, which means that we're going to be doing a ton of damage. Especially since we do also have Sludge Bomb on it, so we can get those max oozes off, and therefore just really start circumventing how much damage output we can do with Venusaur. Especially if we pair it next to like Tornadus or P2 or the Eleki. So looking here, I really like. So here's the thing: Darmanitan hits basically everything on their team super effectively in some aspect. Like we have Rock Slide and Ice Punch for Moltres. We have Ice Punch for Zekrom and Landorus. We have Rock Slide and EQ. I know we have U-Turn. Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz is the last attack. Which, like, Rock Slide can hit Incineroar here, but, like, Gastrodon kind of walls us. Comfey is not the greatest thing to be hitting into, especially since they could potentially set up a Trick Room. But the fact that they have double Intimidate means that Darmanitan is not particularly, like, great here. So I actually think it's still worth bringing. I'm just thinking it's worth bringing in the back as a late game threat as opposed to an early game threat here. So I'm leaning towards like Tornadus plus Groudon. It actually could just be Groudon Venusaur here, which I actually like, with Tornadus plus Darmanitan in the end game here. Like, if we lead Groudon, they're going to want to bring in the Intimidators early, which I think could be good for us. Groudon also puts on a ton of pressure against specifically their Zekrom. So if they are weakness policy Zekrom, then we're just like, okay, here's two things that don't care about that. It's going to be Moltres Ensign up front. And I actually This is interesting, right? Because, like, Venusaur doesn't line up particularly well against either of these. But because we can Swords Dance here with Groudon, it means that, like, we can kind of set up for free, potentially. But I also can see them... I'm going to protect Groudon here on turn 1. I have a feeling this is going to be an Airstream this turn. So I like the idea of going into Tornadus, because we will be able to live the hit, and then get a Tailwind off next turn. We could also switch Groudon out into Tornadus. I actually like that more because then we get rid of the Intimidate. And we can go for an Max Quake into the Ensign this turn to give us the special defense boost on these two Mons facing down Moltres here. I think this is fine. They're going to withdraw Ensign. Please don't be Lando. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. That's fine, though. Like, I don't know if they read the... They actually read the Max Quake into that slot. But, I mean, that's a good play on our opponent's end. If they... Like, the fact that we have Groudon out and we could just go for a Precipice Blades there means that they're incentivized to want to switch, while also meaning that it's going to, again, intimidate our Groudons, and now it's at -2 and really weak. So, I actually really like that play from our opponent. No Max from the Moltres is kind of not great, because now they're +2, and we didn't get a Quake off, which I think we really needed to be able to live this hit. So I think the play this turn, I kind of want to just Heat Wave. Like, Heat Wave in the Sun is going to do a fair bit of damage, and I kind of want to go for the Vine Lash. But I also think that we're going to have an Airstream into Venu this turn. And being able to not be at +1 special defense, I'm not sure if we can actually take that from Moltres. So I don't know if it's worth sacking off Venusaur here to get Vine Lash up. And the more I think about it, the more I actually like that, because that means then we can switch into Darmanitan. They will switch into Ensign most likely. Like, I think our thing here is we need to take out the Intimidators so that Groudon and Darmanitan can clean up this end game. I think is where I'm at right now. Like, I like our position if we can actually stabilize to get into a position where we can take over this game. There's the Vine Lash. Gonna do about 50% to the Landers. Honestly, that's not terrible. I will take that. There's the Heat Wave. No burns, but there's the Airstream into Venusaur, presumably. Yep, and that is going to take us out. But we did get Vine Lash up. I think that's really good, especially since, like, Tornadus is going to be able to live this hit regardless of what it is. Means that we can get a Tailwind off this next turn, and then we're in an okay position, I feel like. Yeah, there's a Rock Slide. Not going to put us down to Sash, but I think that's fine. Vine Lash won't take out Landers. It's really close, but not quite. I'm honestly fine with that. So the question is, do we bring out Groudon? I think the answer is no. I think Darmanitan is going to bait out the Ensign. So I think if we go into Darmanitan, we want to lock into potentially Flare Blitz into the Moltres. I'm actually curious how much this does. I don't know if I'm going to have time to calc this. Oh! Oh! This is going to do a good chunk. This might take out Moltres if I'm looking at this correctly. Holy cow, Darmanitan! Like, we're probably going to lose Darmanitan here, but that's insane! Rock Slide's going to hurt, but it is not enough to pick up the KO on Darmanitan. Ensign's going to go down to Vine Lash, and now it's a 2v1, well, it's a 2v2, where we have Vine Lash up, but both of our mons are going to be at -1, but we also have Tailwind. Holy cow, Darmanitan, you monster. Oh, give me that Zekrom. You're gonna give me that Zekrom, aren't you? So the question is here, what do they fake out? I think the answer is I don't care. We could Swords Dance just to get rid of the Intimidate, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm just going to try to take out this Zekrom this turn. I have a feeling we're going to lose Darmanitan. Okay, there's the Protect. That's fine. That means most likely we're going to get a Flare Blitz from the Ensign into Darmanitan this turn. Meaning we actually could have got a Swords Dance up with Groudon. Please KO. Not quite. Not quite. Really good damage though, all things considered. There's the Flare Blitz. Presumably, yeah, into Darm. This is all fine. I kind of wish we had gotten up the Swords Dance instead, because then we could just one-hit KO both of these mons this turn, but I think this is still appropriate, because we're going to put on a ton of pressure against the Zekrom here this turn. And, like, Ensign's already eaten its berry. And we're faster because of Tailwind. This is their last turn of Vine Lash. We have one more turn of Tailwind after this. I think we just click Precipice Blades and pray. Okay, we connect with both. Down goes Ensign. Zekrom is within range. There's the weakness policy, which might have been reason to click Rock Slide instead. But we have a berry. We should be able to live this, hopefully. Groudon, you monster! You absolute monster! I think they protect this turn. See, this is really unfortunate. We needed one more turn with Vine Lash, and we could just protect here and take them out. So they protect to stall out our last turn of Dynamax. I mean, I have no other play other than hope we're faster than Zekrom, and I don't know if we are. So I think this game came down to, I think had we Ice Punched, they don't protect. I don't know why they don't protect there. Holy cow! That was great. Darmanitan pulling its weight immediately here in the first game of the day. So, reevaluating that game, I think it was correct to Ice Punch plus Precipice Blades the turn that their two mons come in. We want to Ice Punch the Incineroar, because I think between Ice Punch plus Precipice Blades, we take it out while never putting it within berry range. And then the following turn, because we have both of our mons and they protected their Zekrom, we can actually just double into Zekrom there, and just pick up the KO naturally. So I think we could have done that. Another thing we could have done was Swords Dance the turn that Ensign came out. And then we go to +1, and a +1 Precipice Blades into both their mons pick up the KO, while never triggering Berry on Ensign. And then, like, the turn after Darmanitan goes down, we can just click Rock Slide, which will pick up the KO on Ensign, and do a sizable chunk to the Zekrom while never triggering their policy, which I think the way they win that game is they click Protect on that last turn after we triggered their policy, and then we go down to a Dragon Breath the following, or a Dragon Pulse the following turn. So I think it was like we had multiple angles of winning that game, and I picked the one that caused us to almost punt the game out the window. Yep, Parting Shot, not surprised by that. Assault Vest Landorus. Brick Break, interesting. Not one that you normally see on Ensign, but I actually really like it a lot because this means that Ensign is potentially another max target. There are max defenses on Landorus too. Very confusing. Interesting, but confusing. Focus Sash Comfey, not really surprised there. Got the ally switch. Yeah, not really surprised by anything here. Weakness policy on the Zekrom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that outspeeds Groudon. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm 99% sure that would outspeed our Zekrom. I mean, our Groudon. Yeah, really, really interesting team. I love it. Let's keep rocking and rolling. We got one in. Why not get a few more? So yeah, there's a couple different avenues like we talked about there that we could have taken to pick up KOs. And honestly, the fact that Darmanitan came in and punched Moltres into non-existence was absolutely huge for us. Single-handedly won us that game, I feel like. Alright, so now we got Lapdog. Backed up with Dusclops, Landorus, Ensign, and Amoonguss. So I don't... See, this is a tricky one, because Darmanitan on paper looks pretty poor. Because, like, we hit Amoonguss, which is good. We hit Landorus. We hit Zacian. We technically hit Lapras. But when your opponent has screens, double choice band is really interesting. I'm debating if we want to do... I think this is an Eliki game. I wonder if this is like Venusaur Eliki up front. With Groudon and Tornadus in the back so we can set up a late game Tailwind. I actually like that quite a bit. P2 could pull its weight here. And I'm debating if I want Tornadus or Eliki up front. And I'm leaning towards Eliki just because it can put on more pressure against Lapras if that is what they end up maxing here in the beginning of the game. Just for my sake, I cannot remember what max speed is on Lapras, and I want to compare that to our speed stat of our Venusaur, because I know we're not extremely fast on Venusaur, and I don't want there to be a situation where they outspeed us. Super niche, but I have ran into very fast Laprases lately. So they're 123. We should be faster than that, I would think. We're actually not, but how often are you going to see max speed here? I think this is appropriate to... I kind of want to attempt to take out the Dusclops this turn. I want a Thunderbolt plus Quake into the Dusclops this turn to attempt to take it out. The question is do they max Lapras? And if they do they Resonance or do they max Guard? They are going to max. Okay. So I'm assuming that's going to be a Resonance into Venusaur then. Really glad we're getting a Quake off before it moves then. The question is do they attempt to set up Trick Room here? And if so, do we care? Really good damage. We get the Para as well. That honestly could save us here. We're not gonna quite do pick up the KO, but we're gonna get that special defense, which is going to be important. And if we get the Para on Dusclops this turn, we could kind of run away with this game. Yep, into Venusaur. But thanks to that special defense boost, we are going to be able to take that pretty okay, if you ask me. So then this turn... And they do get the Trick Room up. That's fine. Because what we can do this turn... So they're most likely going to Pain Split. If I was a betting man. But we can go for... a... Dusclops does not run Protect. I feel fine doubling into the Dusclops this turn. Because if they have, like, Ally Switch... Yeah, they're going to Pain Split my Venusaur. Which is not actually going to bring it back that high. Geyser. Into Eliki. But since we have a +1 special defense, we are able to live that. And now, both of our Mons are going to be able to go to +1 special attack here. Which is really important. Because we're going to be able to pick up the KO on the Dusclops. The question is what do they bring in? That was actually a crit through the screens. There's the Thunderbolt to pick up the KO. Alright. So I feel okay. Granted, had we crit last turn, we'd be in a different position, but here we are. This is the game that matters, is the game we're playing. So, now our +1 special attack on Venusaur, which I feel good about. They're going to bring in Amoonguss, which means they're probably just going to go for Spore? But, like, they can't Spore Venusaur. And I have a feeling they're just going to target down the Eliki. Is it crazy to switch Eliki into Groudon to set up Sun, which would then negate their, like, Geyser boost? I think the answer is no. I think I would rather just Thunderbolt into the Lapras and Vine Lash into the Lapras as well. If they want to Rage Powder this turn, I'm kind of okay with that. They're going to Sludge Bomb down the Eliki. I think that's actually fine. Is this another Resonance? It is, but now... Like, we're still at +1. We lived the first one pretty handedly. We should live this one pretty handedly as well. We do. So, I think we're okay. Like, now we get Vine Lash damage going. Holy cow, Venusaur. You're insane. We could have... No, we would have done literally the same amount of damage to the Lapras had we attacked into it first turn. Because the +1 that we have from Ooze just removes the buff that they have from the screens. So, honestly, that's pretty okay by me. So now, 2 turns of Trick Room left. I want to taunt this Amoonguss, but I think it protects this turn. So I think that means I want to target down the Lapras. Does Lapras protect? I think the answer is no. I'm going to taunt the Amoonguss just to be safe. Because we do have our Sash, so we can live any hit coming out here. And I'm going to protect the Venusaur. Okay, no protect from the Amoonguss. So we're going to get that taunt off. Can't spore us. And they freeze dry into Venusaur. That's pretty great. So then this turn, I want to set up Tailwind. So then we have fast Groudon in this end game. And I'm going to Sludge Bomb into the Amoonguss. I have a feeling we're going. Oh no, I should not have. I should have Earth Powered. Oh, it's Instant. They don't have Zacian as their last. Well, getting Instant here is actually pretty okay by me, because that means that next turn we can switch into Groudon. Yeah, Venusaur goes down. This is fine. This is all fine by me. They're going to take double Vine Lash damage this turn, which is really good. And it is actually enough to pick up the KO on the Lapras. Trick Room is now over. So I think they go Fake Out plus Spore into my Tornadus this turn. So I can't taunt them next turn. So my play this turn is I'm going to set up a Swords Dance. I'm going to go for the taunt into the Amoonguss. And I'm going to set up a Swords Dance here. Yep, there's the Fake Out into Tornadus. Here's my Swords Dance. And there's the Spore into Tornadus. Alright, that turn could not have gone better for us, honestly. The downside is I need to be able to take this Amoonguss out this turn. I'm going to click Heat Wave. I'm going to click... Rock Slide is technically more accurate, and we have a chance to flinch. It's still super effective, but we're not stab. And based on how much we did to the last Ensign, I think a +2 rock... Oh, a plus... Yeah, +2 Rock Slide, right? Yeah! Yeah, +2 Rock Slide should be enough to take out the Ensign. And I don't think Amoonguss is going to be able to put on enough pressure here to end this game. Even if we miss the Rock Slide. Ooh, it's actually not enough to pick up the KO on the Ensign. That's really unfortunate, actually. Assuming this is Flare Blitz into Groudon. Not enough to trigger our Berry. And they're going to Spore our Groudon. Okay. So the correct play would have been to Precipice Blades, because then we're at full HP. So we just really need to end this game before Ensign is able to take it over. So Air Slash into Ensign this turn. We're guaranteed to sleep this turn. So it doesn't matter what we click with Groudon. Tornadius stays asleep. Groudon is asleep. It's going to be into Groudon. That's going to trigger our Berry. This means we should be able to live a Sludge Bomb now. It's actually going to be Sludge Bomb into Tornadus. Okay. I forgot to trigger, to figure in Aurora Veil. I forgot they had Aurora Veil up still. So we wake up this turn. Heat Wave will take out the Ensign. And I'm actually going to protect Groudon this turn in the event we wake up. Okay, we don't. Tornadus one time? Nope. Really unfortunate. Really unfortunate set here. Just max variance here to end the game, unfortunately. The Ensign is going to go down. So now it's a 1v1 with Tornadus versus Amoonguss. And we're very damaged. And like they don't click Spore, they just click to attack. Alright, gotta do math. Air Slash is super effective and stab. Heat Wave is super effective plus Sun. So it actually should work out to be the same damage base stat wise. So Heat Wave should technically do more damage. I think it's incorrect to actually go for Heat Wave. I think it would have been correct to go for Air Slash so we have a chance to flinch. Yeah, because we actually don't take it out here. And Sludge Bomb's going to take us out. So, a couple things we could have done to win this game. Precipice Blades would have taken out Ensign. So then, like, we just win that endgame with Groudon versus Groudon plus Tornadus versus Amoonguss. And then, like, you know, obviously, had we had a little better variance on our end with the sleep turns, had we woke up literally one turn sooner on either of our Mons, we win that game as well. But, I think I definitely think had I just clicked Precipice Blades, we win that game. Pending that we hit the Incineroar. But, you know, we live and die by the Ensign. Hey, this is a Series 9 team. Cool. So Series 9 Sun here with Torkoal, Venusaur, Charizard, Klefki, I'm assuming for screens, Silvally, and Whimsicott. Well, I like Tornadus. I like Regieleki. I like Darmanitan. I like Venusaur. I actually like Groudon's okay. I really want Tornadus. I really, really want Tornadus. The question is do I expect them to go all in on Sun? I like Darmanitan a lot. I think Tornadus Darmanitan is a very, very good lead here for us. I like Regieleki. I like Venusaur. I like Groudon's okay. Like it hits Klefki, Venusaur, Torkoal, Charizard super effectively. Whimsicott. So like Groudon's very good. Eleki puts on a ton of pressure against like exactly Charizard, so I don't think it's actually worth it here. So I think we just play the Sun Mirror, except our Sunsetter is a little better and not also weak to rock. Hey, nice background. Nice background on your trainer card opponent. I approve. So this is going to be Klefki Charizard. Klefki, I believe, gets access to screens. I believe, does it get Trick? It does not. It gets Sunny Day. So they could Sunny Day plus... what is its base speed compared to... Tornadus? 75. Oh, we're way faster. How is Darmanitan versus Charizard? We're 95 versus 100. So we had to set Tailwind to be faster. And I honestly think a Rock Slide will just one-shot Charizard if they Dynamax here. Which they're going to, so... Pending no shenanigans, Charizard should go down here. Like, even through Reflect, I think we might be able to take it out. Like, Darmanitan just puts on so much pressure so early here. There's our Tailwind. There is the Reflect. But as long as we hit, I don't think it's enough. There's Sash Charizard. No, they just naturally lived on one. Good job, opponent. You took out my Darmanitan. They just naturally lived on one. We missed the roll. Holy cow. But they go down to Life Orb, so I'm pretty okay with that exchange. Like, they lost their Dynamax, and we lost Darmanitan. So, Darmanitan's just kind of he's kind of just doing his thing and just really threatening Mons. Like, he's the Dynamax Slayer. Absolute monster here. Just love it. They're going to bring out Torkoal, so now we have Chlorophyll plus the Tailwind. So we're super fast on our Venusaur. I kind of like Heat Wave. I also kind of like Taunt, so we can just taunt the Klefki, prevent them from getting up a Light Screen here. I kind of like Protect this turn, but I also feel like I need to put a dent into this Torkoal so they can't just Eruption us. Like, it could be Overheat, and I actually don't know if Venusaur at +1 lives in Overheat from Torkoal in the Sun. Let's calc that. Crafty Shield. Excuse me. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that. Prevents status move. So I think they anticipated us going for a Sleep Powder there, and instead we just don't care. Show me Venusaur is your last. Do it, opponent. I dare you. Hey, look at that. They sent out Venusaur. So we're at +1 special defense. We have Heat Wave. We have... I'm going to max ooze their Venusaur, which will then give our Tornadus a +1. This is a neutral hit. Still does 50%. Yeah, like 48% technically, but you know. Interesting. Klefki is attacking here. JK LOL, no it's not. Sit down. Who needs a restricted mon? See, we just win the Sun Mirror by having Darmanitan. That's the lesson of the day. Series 8, and more importantly, Series 9, win the Sun Mirror. Just play Darmanitan. It Oko's Charizard almost. So let's get this rental team, this rental code thrown up one more time. Shoutouts to Papa on Discord for sharing this team and for changing that to Choice Band for me. I think we can all agree that Choice Band Darmanitan, the Dynamax Slayer, did its job today. So that is going to be it, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Do it for that Darmanitan, will y'all? And we'll be back later this week with some more Littleroot laddering. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.